I was talking to my neighbor Martha the other day. She's 82, full of energy, still gardening, still traveling, and I asked her, Martha, what's your secret? She just laughed and said, oh, honey, I just do a few little things every day that keep me going. And that got me thinking, what if those little things aren't so little after all? What if they're the difference between just getting older and truly thriving well into your 90s or even 100? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Genetics play a big role, right? Well, here's the good news. Science says only about 20 to 30% of how long we live is determined by our genes. The rest, it's up to us. Our daily habits, our choices, the way we move, eat, and even think. And the best part, it's never too late to start. So today, we're diving into 7 science-backed habits that can help you not just add years to your life, but life to your years. And we're starting with the first 2 because these alone can make a massive difference. Habit number 1, move like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt really, truly energized? Not just getting through the day, but full of pep, like you could take on the world. If it's been a while, don't worry. The fix isn't some miracle pill, it's movement. And no, I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights, unless you want to. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that regular, moderate exercise like brisk walking, swimming, or even dancing can lower your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even dementia by up to 50%. That's huge! And the best part? You don't need to spend hours at the gym. Just 30 minutes a day, broken into little chunks if needed, can work wonders. Here's a simple trick. Try the commercial break workout. Every time ads come on during your favorite show, stand up and march in place, or do a few gentle stretches. Before you know it, you've moved for 10 to 15 minutes without even thinking about it. Habit number 2, eat the rainbow. And no, we don't mean Skittles. Now let's talk about food, because what you put on your plate might be the most powerful longevity drug out there. And no, this isn't about dieting or depriving yourself. It's about eating more of the good stuff, the colorful, nutrient-packed foods that fight inflammation, keep your brain sharp, and your heart strong. Take the blue zones, for example, those places around the world where people regularly live past 100. One thing they all have in common? Their plates are loaded with plants, beans, leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains. And here's a fun fact. People in Okinawa, Japan, one of these longevity hotspots, have a saying, hara hachibu, which means eat until you're 80% full. It's a simple way to avoid overeating without counting calories. So here's your challenge this week. Add 1 extra color to every meal. Toss some berries into your oatmeal, snack on crunchy carrots, or stir dark leafy greens into your soup. Small changes, big rewards. Now, these first 2 habits, moving more and eating the rainbow, are already a fantastic start. But there's one more game changer I want to share with you next, and it's something most people overlook when it comes to living longer. You know, when I first started researching how to live a longer, healthier life, I expected to find complicated routines or expensive supplements. But what surprised me was how simple and even enjoyable many of these longevity habits really are. In fact, the next 2 we're going to talk about might just become your new favorite parts of the day. Habit number 3, sleep like it's your job, because your health depends on it. Raise your hand if you've ever bragged about getting by on just 5 or 6 hours of sleep. I used to do that too, until I learned what poor sleep was doing to my body. Here's the truth. While we might think we're fine on less sleep as we age, our brains and bodies desperately need those 7 to 8 hours to repair themselves. A groundbreaking study from the University of California found that seniors who consistently got quality sleep had sharper memories, stronger immune systems, and even looked younger at a cellular level. But here's the catch. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality, and many of us struggle with that as we get older.
Try this tonight. About an hour before bed, dim the lights and do what I call the 3-2-1 wind down. 3 deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth, 2 minutes of gentle neck rolls, and one thing you're grateful for from the day. It signals to your body that it's time to shift into rest mode. And if you wake up during the night, instead of stressing about it, try the 4-7-8 breathing trick. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Works like a charm. Habit number 4, stay connected. Your social life is a lifesaver. Now this next habit might surprise you. It's not about food or exercise, but about people. Because here's something remarkable. Researchers at Harvard found that strong social connections are just as important for longevity as not smoking. In fact, seniors with active social lives live longer, have better cognitive function, and even heal faster when they're sick. But I know what some of you might be thinking. Easier said than done. Friends move away, family gets busy. That's why I want to share my friend George's story. At 78, George lost his wife and found himself feeling terribly lonely. Then he joined a local woodworking club, not because he was an expert, but just to try something new. Fast forward 2 years, and not only does he have a workshop full of new friends, but his doctor says his blood pressure is better than it's been in decades. The lesson? Connection doesn't have to mean big parties or crowded events. It could be a weekly phone call with a grandchild, a book club at the library, or even volunteering somewhere that needs your wisdom. Your heart, both emotionally and physically, needs these connections to keep beating strong.
Now, these 4 habits we've covered, moving regularly, eating colorfully, prioritizing sleep, and staying connected, are already a powerful foundation. But there are 3 more game changers I can't wait to share with you, including one surprising habit that's been shown to add years to your life in just minutes a day. You know, as we've been going through these habits together, I've been thinking about my grandmother. She lived to 102, sharp as a tack until the very end. And you want to know her secret? She used to say, "Darling, growing old is mandatory, but growing dull is optional." And that brings us to our next habit, one that might just be the most fun of them all. Habit number 5, never stop learning. Your brain is a muscle, use it or lose it. Imagine if someone told you there was a pill that could keep your mind sharp, boost your memory, and even help prevent dementia. You'd want it, right? Well, here's the good news. That pill exists, and it's called learning new things. A study from the Mayo Clinic found that seniors who regularly challenge their brains with new skills have a 30 to 50% lower risk of cognitive decline. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go back to school, unless you want to. It could be as simple as learning a few phrases in a new language while you drink your morning coffee, trying your hand at watercolor painting, or even mastering that smartphone your grandkids keep nagging you about. My personal favorite? Puzzle books, crosswords, Sudoku, anything that makes me scratch my head for a few minutes each day. Here's a little challenge for you this week. Try something you've never done before. Download a free language app, take a cooking class at the community center, or ask a tech-savvy neighbor to show you how to video call your family. That confusion you feel? That's your brain growing stronger. Habit number 6, find your purpose. Why retirement shouldn't mean retiring from life. Let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, what gets you out of bed? Not your to-do list, but what truly lights you up inside. Because here's what researchers discovered. Seniors with a strong sense of purpose live longer, recover from illness faster, and are happier overall. In fact, a study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people with high purpose in life scores were 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's. Purpose doesn't have to mean changing the world. It might be tending your garden, mentoring younger folks at your church, writing letters to soldiers overseas, or keeping a journal of family stories for your grandchildren. My neighbor Frank, at 85, started a wisdom exchange at his senior center where people share life lessons. He says it's given him more energy than he's had in years. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. Finish this sentence. The world needs maybe it's your patience, your cookie recipe, your ability to listen. Then find one small way to share that gift this week. Habit number 7, stress less, live more. How to turn worry into wisdom. Now, we've saved perhaps the most important habit for last, because no matter how well you eat or exercise, chronic stress can undo all that good work. But here's the beautiful part. Managing stress gets easier with age, if we do it right. Studies show that while young people's stress hormones spike easily, seniors who practice simple relaxation techniques can maintain remarkable calm. Try this instant calm trick I learned from a 94-year-old yoga instructor, the 5-5-5 method. When you feel tense, name 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. It grounds you faster than you'd think. Another favorite? The gratitude pause. When something stressful happens, ask yourself, what's one good thing about this moment? Even if it's just, my tea is still warm. Remember, stress isn't the enemy. It's how we handle it. And you've got decades of resilience to draw on.
So there you have it, 7 simple but powerful habits to help you not just add years to your life, but life to your years. And here's my favorite part. You don't need to do them all perfectly. Start with one that speaks to you today. Maybe it's adding an extra vegetable to your plate, calling an old friend, or spending 10 minutes learning something new. I'd love to hear, which of these habits are you most excited to try? Or maybe you've already found your own secret to aging well. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your wisdom might inspire someone else. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with a friend who could use the encouragement, and subscribe for more tips on thriving at any age. Remember, every day is a new chance to invest in your health and happiness. Here's to making your next years your best years.